Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. A lot of my videos recently have been specifically focused on Easter eggs that we can investigate and explore, whether it's a cipher or maybe a secret piece of paper that's littered around the map, like Shadows of Evil or The Giant. Both those maps have pieces of paper of that nature. This video, though, is going to be a little different. It's going to be something that you guys have tweeted and tweeted and tweeted at me, and I thought it would be finally time for me to make a video and discuss it a little bit, because some of you still haven't seen it, and so I need to bring it to your attention, and I also need to let you guys know that have been tweeting me this, that yes, I'm aware of it, and yes, I think it's pretty cool. So we're going to be playing The Giant today. Not only are we going to be playing The Giant, we're going to be going to a specific area on the map, and the thing that everyone has been constantly tweeting me, and by the way, if you do have other ideas about stuff that you want me to cover in videos, then Twitter is the place to do it. So in the description, there's a link to my Twitter. Follow me on there, and I'll see you very soon in a conversation with yours truly. Anyhow, this has been tweeted at me loads, like I've said. It's seemingly, well, Samantha, maybe, probably, crying on The Giant. It's only audible in one particular area of the map, and so what I'm going to do today is give you guys a listen to it, and that way you'll be able to hear exactly what I'm talking about, and also going to explain it in terms of its relevance to the Call of Duty Zombies storyline. It's predominantly able to be heard in the furnace room and just next to where the Thompson used to be, if you're familiar with the old version of The Giant, which was, of course, Deriz in World at War and Black Ops 1. The VMP has obviously replaced the Thompson now in the map, and if you want to hear what I'm talking about in this video for yourself, then just make your way over to this room, by those stairs, and you can hear it pretty clearly. This girl having a sniffle. She doesn't sound very happy in the slightest. I'm going to give you a listen now. Pretty unsettling stuff, right? I actually noticed this in my first playthrough of the map ever. Well, I guess it was my first playthrough of The Giant specifically, I should tag that on there. I noticed it, and my reaction was to go, oh, wow, that's pretty damn spooky. It really is. It's quite clear as well, so if you're in that furnace room, chances are you are going to hear it, but you can't hear it if you're above ground on that first floor of the building. In fact, you can't hear it anywhere else on the map. You have to either be next to the VMP, like I mentioned, or in the furnace room. Otherwise, you're out of luck. In order for me to explain what's going on here in terms of the story and why Samantha is crying, I want you guys to have another listen to the intro cutscene of The Giant. I'll play it now. So by this point, we're quite familiar with that little clip of audio. What's happened there is Samantha and Dr. Maxis have both been locked inside the teleporter by Dr. Richtofen, and Richtofen then presses the teleporter button and teleports them away. Maxis goes one way, Samantha goes another, and what actually ends up happening is Samantha ends up on the moon and then runs and accidentally stumbles into the MPD. We have a moon radio going back all the way back to the moon map that we can listen to, which gives us a little bit more information on this topic.
Eagle's Nest, this is Griffin Station. We have an update. Over.
Dr. Groff, have you made any progress?
Yes, Doctor. The machine is ready. Activating the conduit.
Very good. I will proceed with Operation Shield and join you shortly.
Security Protocol 935.
Yes. I will dispose of Dr. Maxis and that little brat personally. Do not touch anything.
Mr. Schuster, report.
The tanks are full and the shields are down. The machine is humming nicely.
Good. And what of the shipment?
Most are buried outside of the base. The live ones we've sent back to Customer Postum.
Excellent. There's nothing left but to wait for Dr. Richtofen's return.
Perhaps this is a good time to work on my low-gravity putting in the biodome.
Yes. A little leisure time.
Intruder detected. Receiving bay. This is not a
Security, report.
This is not a drill.
Can you repeat?
She's coming right toward them. Get her! Get back here!
I do not Samantha! Damn it! Dr. Schuster, find a way to get her out of the pyramid. I will contact Edward and let him know there has been an incident.
So, following directly on from Samantha and Maxis both being teleported out of Deriz just as the crew get there, and Richtofen is laughing away and gloating over the fact that he's finally eradicated that little brat Samantha and her father Maxis, we learn that Samantha has not only teleported to the moon, of all places, but she's inside Griffin Station's receiving bay, and what ends up happening is, as a frightened 8 to 10-year-old girl, she stumbles into the MPD. In fact, she runs into it, screaming. She's scared. She doesn't know what's going on, and she's found herself on a Nazi research base on the moon. Of course she's going to be frightened. So into the MPD she goes, and this is where the Black Ops 1 sort of story arc for the Easter eggs begins in a lot of ways. Even though we had this radio on Moon, it kind of predates the entire arc of Black Ops 1. There's also another radio from Moon, which I'm going to play now, which I think is also relevant, and then we'll get back to why she's crying on the Giant. Just before I spin the tape, I'm going to ask you guys to like the video. It would be much appreciated, of course, and more likes for me equals more watermelons for you. Or something like that. Anyhow, here's the radio.
I hope this works. Schuster, power it up.
Systems nominal. Accessing the device. Interface via MTD active. Accessing MTD. MTD integrity check nominal. Awaiting input.
Excellent. Bring the sample.
Analyzing MTD. Creating profile. Profile created.
Excellent. Now, scan for target.
Yes, Doctor.
Target located.
Bring him here. Immediately.
Greetings, Dr. Maxis.
Schuster, I should have known. Where is that rat Edward? Where are we? And how did you get me out of that wretched
None of that is important right now. Allow me to fill you in.
Samantha, honey, Daddy is here. Come, dear, please. Open the machine. Daddy will not let them hurt you anymore. Honey, Daddy knows he's made some mistakes. I am truly sorry that you were put through so much. When your mother died, I could not bear the thought of losing you, too. That's why I kept you so close. I did not mean to neglect you. I just wanted to know you were safe from harm.
Daddy!
I love you, Samantha.
I love you too, Daddy.
Can you do something for me? Something very important.
Yes.
Kill them all. We are doomed.
For a lot of you guys, that's probably your first time hearing that radio ever. And if that's the case, welcome to a whole new branch of the zombie storyline that you previously might not have been at all aware of. Every now and then, I forget the fact that a lot of you guys haven't actually played these original maps, and so if you would like me to go back through and post things like the radios from some of the maps that are interesting and relevant to the story now and things like that, let me know in the comments section down below. It's actually pretty cool. We can sort of embed a new theory in here, and we'll get back to Samantha crying in a moment, but another storyline related thing that we can get from this radio is the fact that Samantha is told to kill them. Kill them all. They're the words that Maxis uses, and it's interesting because in this new note that we found on Shadows of Evil and pieced together thanks to the efforts of multiple community members, it's a really great project that we've undertaken and completed successfully. In that note, it says, "We all must die." That's presumably a note written by Richtofen. Maxis has also talked on The Giant about the fact that this is a burden that Richtofen alone must carry. Richtofen says, "This is a path I alone must walk in order to achieve a better tomorrow." But what is this great burden, this path that he alone can undertake? Well, maybe it's the covert operation of convincing everyone that they need to die. Or something like that. God, this story is so confusing. Anyway, back to what I was saying about Samantha. Really, at this point, I'm sure you guys are fully aware of what I'm about to say. Think about the situation logically. We have a little girl who is attached to her father, very much so, seeing as, tragically, her mother has passed away. She lives in Nazi Germany during World War II, which would have been traumatic enough as it is, let alone losing your mother, and let alone having a crazy German doctor, known colloquially as the Butcher, doing experiments on you. Yeah, that's right, Richtofen experimented on Samantha before all of this stuff happened, so she's already pretty damn messed up as it is because of him. Anyhow, over the years, this little girl, Samantha, has probably been exposed to various really rather strange things coming out of her father's line of work. Maxis works with the Nazi Party on the Wunderwaffe program, and this is something that is definitely going to filter down into her life as a child. In fact, there's a good chance that they would have had to relocate and move to live at Der Riese just so that Maxis could have been closer to his research. When you're working on a secret research program, you don't want to have to be trekking halfway across Germany just to turn up at work at 9 AM on a Monday morning. Obviously, in the past, we've also seen things like Samantha's bedroom, for example, which was pretty messed up as well. So, what I'm getting at here is the fact that Samantha has had a rather traumatic childhood. She's still young, but throughout her entire life, there have been several factors causing her to feel either stress or distress or just general bereavement for lost loved ones, such as her mother. She's not going to be very well adjusted either. Think about it. If she's at school and she makes friends with someone who wants to come back to her place, that's definitely not going to be possible if her place is a little house embedded within the Der Riese Waffenfabrik test facility. She probably is kind of devoid of friendships with other people too, and that might explain the dependence on monkey bombs and the mystery box and things like that, because there's a good chance she's been taken out of the school system entirely. What I'm getting at here is the fact that Samantha's childhood has been far from normal. Over the weeks and months at Der Riese, Richtofen experiments on her, and whether she's really aware of that or not is kind of hard to tell. We don't really know how much of that Samantha is fully conscious of, but it happens regardless. And on the other hand, you have Maxis trying to make things better by doing things such as buying her a dog. Samantha gets given a dog, Fluffy, and this ultimately becomes the cause of the hellhounds that we're so familiar with in The Giant, in Der Riese, and various other maps as well. Fluffy ends up being tested on, and that's not something that was supposed to happen by any means, or certainly not in Samantha's view of the world anyway. And so even with Maxis trying to make things better for her, he's still A, very much wrapped up in his research, and B, just not doing a very good job of being a father. Tensions in the facility overall are also increasing too. Germany is losing the war. It's not looking good for them in the slightest. Remember, this is quite late on in the war's timeline, and so I think that just from that alone, there's going to be mounting tensions within the research team and within the people at the site. But you then have also the fact that they're running out of money. They need more funding in order to get these Wunderwaffes mass-produced, as is their plan, as is their directive from the Nazi Party. Moreover, yeah, there are a lot of different threads coming together here to tie the knot and seal the fate of Samantha in the MPD. Richtofen has been subverting his official orders and has been doing all the stuff that we're very much familiar with on the moon, with Griffin Station and Eagle's Nest, and all of that is only going to make things more tense for the group, because Richtofen is constantly trying to hide this thing that he's doing, and then you also have the fact that he's been corresponding with the Illuminati quite probably as well. Then you also have the research into 115, which is dangerous at best. Hey, hey, cheeky reference there. And they're also researching Vril at Der Riese as well, I believe, which is only going to lead to bad things. So the culmination of all these different factors that are interplaying with one another and creating a really deeply broken environment at Deriz? Well, Richtofen locks Maxis and Samantha in a teleporter and hits the switch. Suddenly, the world that Samantha knew, everything that she knew, is gone. She finds herself in a mysterious room on the moon, though at the time she wouldn't really have known that. She's in the receiving bay of Griffin Station, and there are strange people who she's potentially never seen before all around her. She screams and runs to try and get away, and ends up stumbling into the MPD. Obviously, touching the MPD, seeing as it has its shields down, she enters it, and this begins, as I mentioned earlier, the entire arc of Black Ops 1. Richtofen says, well, let's find a way to get her out of the machine. He needs to get the focusing stone and the Vril device and all those different things and complete all the tasks set out in Black Ops 1 in order to finally get to Moon, plug those things in as required, pop her out of the machine, actually more like switch bodies with her, that's what actually happens, and take control for himself. I suppose the Origins ending metaphor for this is Samantha finishing her turn and Eddie having a turn instead. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves though. The point in me making this video in the first place was to answer a very simple question that you guys kept tweeting me over and over again. Why is Samantha crying on the Giant? Well, hopefully, at this point, that's a little more clear. Samantha is a young girl, she's had a messed up childhood, and she suddenly then gets teleported to the moon, she's split up with her father, she runs into the MPD, assumes control, suddenly has powers beyond her wildest dreams or imagination, there's a great evil in the ether already that's going to be corrupting her mind for every little moment she's in there, and so of course, she's going to be quite upset. If you're concerned about the timeline of these events as well, and whether it all makes sense chronologically for her to be crying on the Giant rather than just on Deriz, well, yeah, it's fine actually, because we know from the intro cutscene to the Giant that the map takes place just after Samantha is teleported away, and so in that cutscene we see old Richtofen saying, "Do you know who I am?" And they obviously respond saying, "Yeah, we know." And then the cutscene keeps going, zombies appear, after Samantha has entered the MPD and sends the zombies over to them, I suppose. And I suppose, as well, that that's the point at which Samantha breaks down. She's not a happy bunny by any means. So, I have been MrRoflWaffles. You've just been filled in for the last, 17, 18 minutes with zombies storyline goodness. If you'd like to see more of this, subscribe right now, you filthy watermelon, and I'll hopefully see you very soon in another video like this. Also, and this is quite important, if you have any storyline questions, pop them in the comments section or tweet me them, and I'll try and get to them as soon as I can. I'd really like to set up an ongoing dialogue with you guys, where you ask a question and I answer it, and together we both learn more about the zombies storyline. I think that that would be a very healthy relationship to establish. So, thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully see you again very soon. Bye-bye.